Hey friends, welcome to Hot News. It's a Monday, day of days, great day for things and news and disappointment, sadness and disappointment. And we have some bad news to start off today's episode, which is unfortunately about Keanu Reeves' involvement in Cyberpunk 2077, because there is some information that came out during an interview regarding his role in Cyberpunk as Johnny Silverhand. And when asked the question whether or not he'd be one of the romance options, it was rebutted. Keanu plays a crucial role in the game, but as for the option to romance him, I don't believe you can. Cyberpunk 2077 level designer Max Piers. First of all, sad. Second of all, he said he doesn't think. So it's entirely possible that it's still going to be implemented, especially if there's enough public outcry for it. So anybody who's watching today's episode of Hot News, if you want Johnny Silverhand as the romance option, then you gotta get on Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red's radar and make it known, okay? Cause a big uproar, hullabaloo, a sweet caucus cacophony, okay? You gotta let them know that that's something that you want. Obviously, they continued about Cyberpunk 2077, talking about how it's supposed to be making sure that the player gets the representation that they want in the video game, which is to the chagrin of some gamers and to the delight of others and to the discussion of everyone. But the fact that I can't be represented as holding hands with Keanu Reeves in a video game means that I'm disappointed in everybody.
This is a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. And then, speaking of tragedies, Apple lied. Oh yes, my friends, Apple lied about their arcade game service, or at least they told a half-truth when it comes to the exclusivity of certain games on their Apple Arcade program, specifically when it comes to the game Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is supposed to be launching exclusively on Apple Arcade, except for the day that it launches exclusively, it also launches on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. Now it seems that Apple means that it's going to be exclusive on mobile, but then you could lump the Switch in as a mobile platform, so then you have to talk about phones specifically, which they never stated. They just said exclusive games, which games exclusivity, there's a whole lot of, you can't just say things, Apple. You gotta be very clear, okay? You lied to us. You broke my trust in my heart. And so has Ash Ketchum for way too long. But finally, Ash Ketchum is now a Pokemon League champion after finishing top 8 multiple times, top 2 in the last season. He finally is the champ of the Alola region in the 139th episode of Pokemon Sun and Moon anime series. Congratulations, Ash Ketchum. It's been a long time coming. And what else has been a long time coming is getting Masigno back in video games, okay? You remember that glitch on Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue? You go to Cinnabar Island, you surf up and down the right-hand side of it? Yes, amazing. Well, apparently, Pokemon is tweeting a glitched Pokemon on and people are like, oh, it's Masigno. But if you rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, then what you find is it actually looks like a Farfetch'd with a sword and a shield. So it could just be a evolved version of that. And if they include Masigno in the game, but they don't include the national dex with all of the rest of the Pokemon, that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Oh, you're gonna include this one glitch that wasn't even included in Fire Red and Leaf Green? Oh, but you're gonna put it in Sword. It's bullcrap. It's bullcrap, Game Freak. Get yourself together. National dex or nothing. But speaking of things or nothing, a Hearthstone player who was competing in a tournament appeared to be distracted because apparently he was playing an auto chess game for $1 million tournament at the same time. His distraction led him to throwing the match and then having several people complain about how he was not prioritizing or scatterbrained, whatever. I find it impressive that even though he lost, he was still being able to be competitive in 2 different games at the same time. It's actually amazing. I love it. If you could play 2 different esports at the same time, I don't care. That'd be great. Other people have issues with this for whatever reason. I don't care. He should be able to do it. But you know it's not an esport? Minecraft. Even though it has the possibility of being if people just put their brains to it. But no, what it is though, is a game that has 112 million people playing it this month. 112 million people that are playing Minecraft. It's crazy. Obviously, it's been resurging as of late. It's brought PewDiePie gigantic numbers. It's brought us giant numbers on the UFD Tech channel with ray tracing. NVIDIA's talking about, everybody's on the Minecraft hype train, especially since Fortnite died. 112 million people. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what else is crazy? Borderlands 3's numbers, okay? Apparently, the peak concurrent player base on Borderlands 3 is over double what it was on Borderlands 2, which is quite good. However, that's not without some controversy of the game's performance, because the people over at Digital Foundry, as well as a ton of anecdotal evidence that I've seen on my timeline, indicate that the game kind of sucks to play if you're trying to go for resolution or HDR or anything that demands high settings on a console, and you have to run it in performance mode if you want any sort of stability. In fact, one of our friends over at Critical Hit released a tweet where he was showing that there's gigantic amounts of input latency if you have HDR on a PlayStation. It's terrible. This game is not without its share of bugs and frustrations, I'll tell you that. But are you frustrated by the Final Fantasy VII Remake and how its game battle system is redesigned into a new confangled 2019 way? Well, Square Enix has some news for you, because they're going to be including a turn-based classic mode in the game, which just makes me wonder, is this the reason we had to wait so that you could put two different freaking battle systems in the same game? Okay, I've been waiting for the remake forever. PS5's almost here. I should have had this remake a long time ago, and if it's because I had to wait for turn-based action, I'm mad. Stop it. Reese, are you mad?
I'm mad.
Okay, tell us what you're not mad about, though.
It turns out Yakuza 7 is also going turn-based. I'm guessing they're trying to get in with that whole, classic JRPG theme.
Love it.
So yeah, no, it's a first for the series. Sega showed it off during their Tokyo Game Show convention. A couple of gameplay demos here and there focused on the new combat system that they're implementing, as well as some of the more eccentric elements they'll be adding. I think the best of which is that it's getting a Final Fantasy-esque summoning ability.
GFs! Let's go!
GFs, but with a twist.
Okay.
It's a humorous twist.
Oh no. Are they naked?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you watch the video here. The dude basically whips out his cell phone, calls someone in this super over dramatic fashion, and then bang, a lobster shows up.
Love it.
The lobster is your summoning ability. I don't quite know how to feel about this, but it's they're kind of mocking the whole Final Fantasy summoning thing.
Well, that's rude.
It's rude, but it's amazing at the same time. The video is hilarious.
Well, speaking of rude things, Discord is shutting down its Nitro game library. Reese, tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, Discord is basically removing the Nitro games catalog from its Nitro subscription service. The games were an add-on to the service that let users access a number of games through the platform itself. A few of the titles included Risk of Rain, System Shock, Inside, a bunch of those. And a quote here is, "We learned a lot from all of you over the last year. And through your valuable feedback, it became clear that while some of you loved the games, the truth is the vast majority of Nitro subscribers didn't play them." So yeah, it seems like they're getting rid of it. The catalog will be removed from Discord on October 15th, sorry. But subscribers will still have access to the games until then. But the subscription price will remain at $9.99 a month. So, yeah.
Okay, then let's talk about a mod to Doom. Yeah, we're talking about old school Doom, which has been modded to run the new Doom. Doom 2016 has been modded to be put into Doom 2, and now they're calling it Doom 4 Vanilla. Sure, let's just confuse everybody on the face of the earth with your naming scheme, but in case you want to play the game in the old school retro graphics, well, now that's going to be available to you, presuming Bethesda and id don't want to shut it down, which they typically aren't the type to do that. I mean, as long as they can get Skyrim running anywhere, not id, but Bethesda. I mean, you can play it on your potato. I'm sure they'll support the hack. You know what other people want to play, though?
What?
Outer Worlds. And there's a 20-minute gameplay video out on the internet right now. So in case you're interested in that RPG-esque kind of, I was going to say Final Space, No Man's Sky kind of feeling, then it's available. But you know what's not available? Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's not available in Russia because it was abruptly pulled from the PlayStation store during the beta, and this, no specific reason given, but it's possible that the reigning conspiracy theory is that it's because the Russians opposed the White Helmets, which are a group of volunteer rescue workers in rebel-occupied areas of Syria and Turkey. And as you know, the US and Russia might not be engaged in a proxy war in Syria. So they don't like it. And then last week we talked about how Fallout 76 was screwing people over with a $7 refrigerator and also a $5 robot. Well, fans got even more angry after turns out they looked at old trailers and they were like, hey, that robot was supposed to be part of the base game. Hey, you put that in a trailer. We were supposed to get that for free. What the heck? But no, it's $5, okay? Suck it up, Fallout 76 players. You're used to pain and hatred. Deal with it. But I mean, the entire games industry is feeling pain as of late. Reese, give us more.
Yeah, so the PC industry had its weakest August software and hardware sales in more than 20 years. The NPD Group released its monthly US sales report for August, and it shows that hardware, software, accessory sales, everything is down 18% year over year to $666 million. This includes both physical and digital sales of games. So,
I mean, part of that might be because a lot of the new games have been announced and the new hardware got announced, so people are just holding off. Like, you said that you're not going to buy a new PlayStation because you'll just wait for the PS5.
Yeah, the only specific hardware that has seen an increase is the Switch, because there's no looming upgrade.
Yeah, there was only the downgrade Switch Lite.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Everyone else is just holding off for the next gen whatevers.
Or the next games. You have Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have Cyberpunk, there's other big games. There's other big games all coming out next year. So why would you buy things now? Don't make no sense. You know what else makes no sense? Swatting. In case you're not familiar, swatting is the event where somebody prank calls the police or emergency services and has them come in on a streamer and potentially, on the best case scenario, the police are like, sorry about that, we'll figure this out and we'll make sure that you're put on a list and everything's fine. Worst case scenario, somebody dies, which is what happened in this instance when a gamer who decided that he wasn't okay with losing a $1.50 bet paid somebody else to swat a streamer, which resulted in that person's death. He is now seeing 15 months in jail and banned from gaming for 2 years, which in my opinion is probably a little light considering that somebody was actually murdered on behalf of his actions. Obviously, he wouldn't know that that was the route it was going to take, but anytime you bring police into a high stress scenario, you can't guarantee that's going to go well. And even just the mental trauma of having the police show up, knocking down your door and being there to take you down because they heard reports of you doing something horrendous, it's ridiculous. This is bad. And I'm glad that there are actual consequences. It's a little light. I don't like it. Andrew Finch was the person who was murdered in Wichita, Kansas. It sucks that this has even had to happen. It's ridiculous. But the person who actually made the call got 20 years in prison. So justice to that side, but not the person who paid him to do it, which I feel like should have roughly the same sentence. But I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a judge, which probably is a good thing. I'm just a guy here ending this episode of Hot News. Let us know what you thought of anything that we talked about. Do you want Keanu Reeves as your beau? Have you been buying games or have you not been buying games? Are you okay with swatting? Do you swat? I'm gonna swat your hand and say no, don't do it. Okay, that's the end of Hot News. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Say hi to Reese for me. And that's the end. Goodbye.